And now to our dynamic family interview area we go with Joni Smith.
Thank you so much. The Favre family is with me this morning. They jumped in to help us out, just a couple days notice on this. And I'm with Bill and Katie and Macy and Cora. Good morning, family.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And this is not your first time here. Been on the phone banks, filling in.
Right.
You were supposed to be here with Remax the other day. What happened to you? What'd you
I
have to
was-
sell a house or what?
I was the one to get the girls off to school that day.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's a great reason, too.
yeah.
Well, we appreciate you so much coming in on your Saturday because we know things are upside down. In fact, just like 2 or 3 minutes ago, well, maybe 5 minutes ago, went back and said, come on out. And said, you know what, Cora's got to eat. And what I'm thinking is, well, she needs to eat something. Feeding tube.
Right.
A feeding tube. Okay. And then I got worried because I didn't want you to have to rush her meal, which you didn't because I'm not real familiar with that. But let's turn back the clock a few years if you don't mind. And let's start with the beginning of Cora's story. Who wants to jump in?
Yeah, so we found out there was something just off at one of her, at her 20-week ultrasound. She had one kidney and a 2-vessel umbilical cord. So I worked in OB and I knew kind of what both of those things had meant. But the doctor had suggested to do some more genetic testing. So we did that and we got a call like about a week or two later to come in because they'd found something. And so we were nervous and we went in thinking we were going to have an answer. And she has a chromosome abnormality that's never been seen before. So we went in thinking that we were going to get an answer as to what was going on, but we just left with more questions.
Disappointing. I bet that was a disappointing drive home. Do you remember that, Bill?
Yeah, just like kind of feeling, an empty feeling of sorts, just not knowing the answers and what the, long term looks like for our little Cora here.
Well, it's your little peanut. You want nothing but the best. Thinking you're going to go home with, how we are. We have to have a game plan. Okay, tell us what to do and step by step. And you did not get that.
Right. So she's just kind of writing her own story. She was born 3 weeks early. She only weighed 4 pounds, 3 ounces. And even for 3 weeks early, that's very small. She grew okay for the first couple months. But then she just kind of started throwing up more and growing less. So then eventually we ended up with the G-tube. She grew okay until she was a year old. At a year, she weighed 17.5 pounds, and now she's 3.5, and she still weighs 17.5 pounds.
Yeah, they were concerned with her, not keeping food down. So she was admitted for a Nissen surgery, which more or less kind of makes keeps her food from coming up.
You're staying where it's supposed to stay.
Okay. So that she can absorb those calories. So she's been through plenty, and with all her being admitted into the hospital and all of her surgeries, she's a tough little one.
So, medical background. You have a medical background, Katie. Bill, did you have any idea what a feeding tube, what all this was going to involve?
Not at all.
Okay, so real learning experience.
Very, very much so.
Nervous about being home? Were you? I mean, you're out of the home working as well. You're here.
Right.
Now, yesterday or a couple days ago, like you said, you weren't able to be here because you were taking care of the girls. So what is that like for a dad learning these new procedures that just are part of everyday life now?
It makes you obviously nervous that you're, making sure it's done right and that, she's getting the regimen that she needs. But over time, you kind of get used to it and, it kind of becomes, what for us is normal.
Is it a formula of sorts?
Yeah.
And where does that, do you make your own? Where does it come from?
She's been on a lot of different things just to, we've had issues with her tolerating different formulas and different foods. We've tried real food, we've tried commercially blended food, we've tried lots of different formulas, and what she's on right now is a formula. It's just kind of more gentle, it's more broken down for her, so she's tolerating it pretty well. And we've recently started kind of blending up some really high fat stuff and giving that to her when we can squeeze it in.
You made mention of hospitalizations and surgeries. Can you take us through that?
So, yep, she had her hospitalization for her G-tube and Nissen surgery. That was all done at the same time. She's been admitted for failure to thrive. She had a very low blood sugar once. So she doesn't get sick much, though, so it's just kind of been for those things.
You guys comfortable with having a date night, going out, leaving the girls?
Yeah,
How does that work?
We have a lot of support. Both of our families live here, and we have some Viterbo nursing students that help us out too. So she's in good hands, and everybody that meets Cora loves her. So we have lots of people just saying like, hey, if you ever need a sitter. So we have a lot of support.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that are love hearing your story right now. We are up to 9 calls already. Can we do a cheer? Yay, 9 calls! Yay! And what makes this even more special today, we have an anonymous donor. They don't want us to tell who it is, matching up to $1,000 this hour. So your pledge really goes a long way. So 9 people, they've already caught on to that.
Wow.
So
Well,
this
thank
is
you
an
for
anonymous
pledging.
donor. Absolutely. Thank you for that match. It's 608-784-KIDS, 608-784-5437 with the Favre family. All of you here with us today. What's on the horizon?
For Cora?
Yeah.
Just continue to write her own story, and I'm always Googling her duplication to see if any more articles are coming out. We're just staying in contact with our geneticist and just kind of treating symptoms as they come.
You're in the Holman School District.
Yep.
So where are we at with grades and all that sort of thing?
So Cora's in early childhood. She goes half days, 3 days a week, and she loves the school bus. So she gets to ride the school bus.
Loves the school bus.
You love the
Oh, yeah.
bus? Love the bus?
It's one of the few words that she can say is
Is bus. Of course it is.
And then
Macy, what grade are you? Can I ask her a couple questions? Pass it over there. What grade are you in?
I'm in 3rd grade,
And what school do you go to?
Evergreen Elementary,
That's a great school, isn't it? You have a favorite subject that you like?
art and math.
Art and math. I didn't even hear a phi at a recess out of you. That's pretty impressive. Do you have a favorite teacher?
Yes.
Do you think maybe some of your teachers, we could encourage them to pick up the phone and give a call? Could we do that? Why don't we do that? All right. Look over there. And do you see the phone number that's written down? Can you give them the Radiothon phone number? Go ahead and read it for us.
608-784-K10.
That spells kids. Yeah, KIDS. That's exactly right. So we want them to pick up the phone and give us a call, don't we? All right. We already have 9 calls. We'll take more. And spending some time with the Favre family. And how do you guys do the balance? Both of you are out of the house working.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, I think.
we work well as a team. It's just kind of like tag teaming all the time. If one of us is making dinner, the other one is cleaning it up or chasing the girls, or Macy's a huge help too with Cora and, Cora's tube fed, but she can eat. She just doesn't want to or
She
get
doesn't care
hungry.
to.
But Macy likes to kind of set the table there's a small table next to our table for those two, and she makes her breakfast and tries to get her to eat.
They have their little room next to each other at the table?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect. You know what? Since you read that phone number for us, my dear, we've had another call come in. We have
good
10
job.
calls right now. Let's hear it for the 10 calls. There you go. At the Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Phone Bank. Little enthusiasm here. We got an anonymous donor matching up to $1,000 this hour, making the pledges. Go tell us how Children's Miracle Network, how did they come into your life? Can you take us back to that?
So when we've been admitted, they have the meal tickets for families that have children in the hospital. So we're a very tight, close-knit family, and Cora we all like to be together, so it's nice to be able to just go down and grab some food and just be able to stay with her.
Did you know about the organization? Did you know who was giving you these vouchers? Did it come to mind?
Definitely.
Great.
I used to work in pediatrics too, so I've seen a lot of families that Children's Miracle Network help, and they do so much more too than just the vouchers, and looking at Cora's future, like home modifications or anything that we might need, just knowing that they're there.
And then based on my employer, they are like a proud sponsor of Children's Miracle Network.
National sponsor.
National sponsor.
Absolutely.
So I got to learn a little bit more about that once I became a RE/MAX real estate agent, and just got to see the scope of how many families and children it does help. So it's a great network, and I see families actually benefiting from all these donations and people contributing.
Well, when your team walks in here, is it typically Fridays? But whatever day it is, when your team is in here on the phone bank too, it gets wild. It just takes a minute, and the next thing you know, is it Samantha?
Samantha,
Okay,
yeah.
she is on that phone. She's got like a list.
Yeah.
She brings a list
She
with
comes
her.
prepared.
And
She's
she
amazing.
is on that phone. In fact, I waved and smiled at her a couple times. I don't even think she looked up because, I mean,
She's got work to do while she's here.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser that's always dear to our hearts and all the real estate agents that are part of the RE/MAX First Choice in the area here. Oh, Cora, do you want to say something? No.
Tell me a little something. There's a question I have for you. Tell me about being a top miracle agent. What's that all about?
That's just for
Now,
each-
come on, ring your bell here. Let's go.
So each commission check that's part of any transaction in real estate, part of that gets donated to the Children's Miracle Network. So anytime a sale does come through, there's a good pledge on my behalf that goes towards this fundraising event here, or the Children's Miracle Network.
I think that deserves a little something. There you go. All kinds of ways to give back. And with you all spending some time with us this morning, that's what you're doing. You're giving back. It feels good to give back, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. And then just being a part of this with our little one, it's kind of dear to our hearts. And
Of course it is.
we certainly want to give back, and seeing those families that do go through their struggles and deal with little ones, because some of it is fairly heartbreaking as to
is.
what all those families go through.
It is. You know what's not heartbreaking? We had another call while you were talking.
Hey.
We're up to 12 now. It's 608-784-KIDS, 608-784-KIDS, 5437. We have the Gensler Group over here. We are in good hands. They have their red shirts on, and they've been over there taking care of business, too. Appreciate that so much. You can't do anything without sponsorships. You can't do anything without community involvement. And yesterday was really interesting, or maybe it was Thursday, who knows, I can't keep it straight. Gunderson Health System, we had a physician here saying, you know what is so special to me is I know that 100% of this money that is raised, not only does it stay local, it does not go to any sort of administration fee. And you can't say that enough. I mean, we know that because we live this year to year, but until you have somebody, authority, sitting right there and saying, this is why I'm so interested.
Absolutely.
And, there's not a lot of organizations, well, I mean, I know of what I know, and this is what I speak, but I would think that some organizations, that's not necessarily the way.
Right.
You have to take care of things. So, anything else that we need to add? Anything else that we haven't hit? I mean, your family is beautiful.
Thank you. I know I would have to say, just based on going through the stuff that we've done, we've maybe become stronger as a family, but my wife Katie here has been a huge advocate for our daughter, so I want to take some time to thank her for all the stuff that, time, research, energy it takes to get through each day that we go through. So.
Strong family unit. Isn't that nice?
That
Isn't
is
that
pretty
sweet?
nice.
We don't want to make you cry, so
Yeah.
we'll move on from that. Yeah, because I might go with you. That beautiful little tone, that noise, that is another call coming in. You know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to hang on for just a minute, because I'm just feeling like there's a little energy starting here, like we might be getting another call, and we just did. I just knew it. I just knew it. 608-784-KIDS, 608-5437 with the Favre family. Thank you for spending some time. The calls are going to keep coming in. We'll just keep taking them.
Thank you, everyone.
You know
Yeah.
what? Appreciate it. Parting thoughts?
Thanks everybody that's even been a part of this weekend, and the time everybody spent for all this, because it definitely goes to a good cause. So thank you very much.
And the 14th call just came in.
Awesome.
Thank you.
calling.
It is awesome. You're listening to the CMN Hospital Radiothon. Put your money where the miracles are, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.
And let's keep the phone calls coming in. 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437. Don't stop now. We're just a little more than, we're actually less than 2.5 hours, man. Time is just flying by. You've got to become in and be a part of this right now. Our Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank is open, 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437. The folks from Gensler working hard over there, working the phone bank. It is really what we call crunch time. I mean, time's running out. If you have not pledged, if you are one of those folks, one of those wonderful people that like to wait till towards the end to make a heck of an impact, now would be the time to do it. Don't waste any time. I know you're having a busy Saturday. You're trying to get a lot of things done. The weather maybe is not cooperating out there. It's throwing a wrench into your plans. So maybe you've got to rethink what you're doing and change up some plans and get the family together today. But take a moment, please. Get on the phone and give us a call. 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437. Don't forget, we have an anonymous donor this hour who is matching everything up to $1,000, and that's outstanding. That's why you need to call right now, 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437. Please, let's keep the phones ringing on the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon on Kix 106.3.